Meraki TV is proudly brought to you by George Focus of Focus Beyond, education for investing wisely.
It's time to get your Greek on with me, Anna Savo, and Meraki TV, brought to you by George Focus of Focus Beyond, education for investing wisely. Tonight, Helen makes Cypriot delicacy cheftalies. We delve into the life and triumphs of Alexander the Great. I'm very excited to introduce our brand new arts and personal development presenter, Nula Diamantopoulos. There's Did You Know Bulgari? And we also talk to Kepi Chick, Irini Callas. But to kick off tonight, Zoe Galfayanis. If you're old enough to remember the heyday of the bouzoukia scene in Australia, then you'll probably remember a young girl wowing everyone with her mature, striking voice and chutzpah on stage. She's now all grown up and has just released her first original Greek song. Here to find out more with Zoe Galfayanis is Dimitra Alexandria.
Today I sit here with Zoe, who has just released a new song with real music in Greece. So tell us about your new song. Very exciting.
Well, this song was actually done by my husband, John Spiropoulos. Mm-hmm. The actual demo was done here in Australia. The lyrics are mine. And we are actually working together with Real Music of Greece, promoting the song in Greece.
So you've had a long music history and singing career, starting from when you were 5 years old.
My first song ever was at the age of 5.
Mm-hmm. What was that called?
It was called Vreme Lachrinaki. And I had that chance because of the fact that my father was a keyboard player back then, an organ player, mm-hmm. and a musician. I had the opportunity to get on the stage at the age of 6, 7, wherever he was playing. My first floor show was at the Cypriot Club in the city. And then it was followed by the Corfu Tavern in Kingsford, working with Christo Olympio.
Wow.
At the age of 27, I got elected for Fame Story 3.
Wow, tell us about that. That's very cool.
Δεν έχεις το δικαίωμα τόσο να με πικραίνεις, να μου μιλάς για τα παλιά και να με τυραννάς.
They had the auditions here in Enmore Theatre, mm-hmm. back in 2004, and I went through all the auditions. And I got elected to go to the live concert and to Fame Story. But for personal reasons, I didn't attend the live show.
Right, okay. So they select 3 people out of all the people that auditioned. So around 500, you'd say, auditioned?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. It would have been, around 500 people.
That's very cool. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
So now you have an original song in your repertoire. What is that song called?
The song is called Kamena Onira.
Kamena Onina.
Yeah. In English, Burnt Dreams.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So in 5 years, where would you like to be? As in your dream for the next 5 years?
Look, I'd like to actually complete an album mm-hmm. of my own songs. But at the moment, we've got our we're actually working on our next single.
Awesome.
So
Do you have a name for it?
We do.
Would you like to tell us?
Can I announce it?
Yeah.
The name is called Apati.
Great. I'm going to keep a lookout for it.
That's it. So we are actually working on it already.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully by next year, early next year, we don't have a specific time, but it's on its way.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
So lastly, where can we purchase your song?
My song can be purchased on iTunes, Amazon.com.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being here with us today, Zoe.
I thank Meraki TV for having me.
Alexander the Great. There seems to be a lot of contention around about the true history of this man. And it's not just lay people, even Olympic presenters are botching it up. Well, here to clear it all up is our mini-doc on Alexander the Great.
Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great, or Alexander III of Macedon, was born in Pella, the ancient capital of Macedonia, in July 356 BC. Son of King Philip II, he was educated under the liege of the famous ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle. At only 18, he took on royal duties, specifically the charge of the companion cavalry, Macedonia's elite cavalry, esteemed the best in the world. At the time, Greece was a group of city-states, each ruled independently and rife with fighting. Alexander was able, with his famed companion cavalry, to help his father defeat the Athenian and Theban armies at Chaeronea, and so earned his first stripes. It was just 2 years later that Alexander's father Philip was assassinated, and at the tender age of 20, Alexander inherited a powerful yet volatile kingdom. Alexander set to work changing his kingdom, swiftly dealing with enemies at home and reasserting Macedonian power within Greece. Having settled affairs at home, Alexander set his sights on the massive Persian Empire. He led his army to victories across the Persian territories of Asia Minor, Syria, and Egypt without suffering a single defeat. At only 25, Alexander was king of Macedonia, leader of the Greeks, overlord of Asia Minor, and pharaoh of Egypt. Alexander's defeat of the Persian Empire removed the block that had prevented the spread of Greek settlement into the east. There is no evidence to suggest that Alexander promoted a policy of Hellenization. He himself adopted Persian styles of dress and worship once he'd extended into Persia. However, Greek culture undoubtedly penetrated into Western Asia as the result of his conquests. Alexander's military genius is undisputed. Although his belief in his own indestructibility meant he was often reckless with his own life and those of his soldiers, the fact that his army only refused to follow him once in 13 years of a reign, during which there was constant fighting, indicates the loyalty he inspired. He improved the fine army inherited from his father by the addition of allied forces. He strengthened the cavalry arm, utilised weapons specialists, and employed a corps of engineers. He was invincible in both siege warfare and set battles. His movements were marked by speed. His logistical intelligence and communications operations were flawless, and his ability to improvise was unrivaled. Alexander founded over 70 cities and created an empire that stretched across 3 continents and covered around 2 million square miles. This was united by a common Greek language and culture, while the king himself adopted foreign customs in order to rule his millions of ethnically diverse subjects. Alexander's conquests created a legend that would provide the standard by which other leaders would measure their careers. He died of malaria in Babylonia in 323 BC, only 33 years old. His tomb was one of the biggest tourist attractions of the ancient world. Roman emperors, including Pompey, Julius Caesar, and Caligula, travelled to Alexandria to pay their respects. His tomb and its location, though, remain one of history's greatest mysteries and still has not been found. It's time for an income breakthrough to free yourself from working for money, have your money work for you. George Focus of Focus Beyond will show you step by step how to generate income from the share market irrespective of if it goes up or down. Access resources that do the hard work for you and devote no more than 60 minutes a month so you can enjoy financial freedom and time with family. To change your life forever, go to focusbeyond.com now. Iramia Home Care Services. It's so difficult asking for help. Take the stress out and enjoy precious time because there's no place like home. iramia.com.au. Whether it's Melbourne, Darwin, Queensland, something exotic or just perfect Greece, call Mega Travel 9824 2427. SCJewellery.com, specialising in evil eye jewellery and pieces full of fun that are distinct, unique and you. SCJewellery.com. SC is you.
Nuala Diamantopoulos is an extraordinary woman. Her gifts range from psychotherapy to art to personal development. We are so excited to have her as the new addition to the Meraki TV team. Today, she has a wonderful Mosaic project for us.
Hi, my name is Nuala Diamantopoulos. I'm an artist, psychotherapist. I do personal development workshops, run art workshops. I'll be bringing to you art projects, personal development, tools, and everything in between those two things. So today, we're going to do a butterfly mosaic. We're going to work with glass tiles, but you can work in all sorts of different types of materials, but today it's going to be glass tiles. Okay, this is what you're going to need, guys. A drawing of a butterfly, which you can download from the internet, tiles, some tile cutters, some sticky plastic. Better still, I'm going to have a kit ready for you that you can grab from me. If you want to put an order in for that, you can just go to my website. So this little butterfly image, we're just going to put it down onto a board. The next thing we're going to do is put the sticky plastic on the top. I place the sticky plastic sticky side up because it's going to be holding down our tiles after we've cut them temporarily. These are the glass tiles that I'll be working with today, and I'm using a Ziploc bag. I put the tile into the Ziploc bag, close it, and then I cut a whole bunch of random shapes. The reason that I cut in the plastic bag is for occupational health and safety, so that you don't get cuts, and that you also keep all of the silica that gets released when you cut glass tiles away from you breathing it in. So it's nice and neat in here. Once you finish the cuts, you take them out, place them like a palette, like an artist's palette in front of you, and then you've got things to choose from, shapes to choose from, and colors to choose from as you're doing your design. That's the process, and there's many processes of making mosaics, but that's a really easy one because it's got sticky plastic. It holds your tiles down temporarily, and then what we do is we transfer that with glue onto the final substrate. Thanks guys, I hope you enjoyed learning about how to make a mosaic butterfly, and we have another opportunity for you too. If you want to come and learn with me for free and do a community butterfly as part of a mural, it's going to be in a public space, then Anna will give you the details shortly. There's one more thing that I want to share with you. I've just written my very first book and I'm thrilled. This is the book. It's called You Are That Is Creative. It's all about finding your creative potential and accessing, activating it. You can go to the website and do your pre-order now, which comes with a whole bunch of specials just for Meraki TV viewers.
Hi guys, welcome to another edition of Helen's Cuisine. Today I'm going to show you those cypriot sausages that you're going to love. Chef Talier's, my personal favourite. Not a task at all, really simple. Here we go. Cull fat. What is cull fat? It's a stomach lining of an animal, and basically it's what's going to hold your Chef Talier together. Bit tricky to find, but you can normally find it at your butcher or ask him to get it in for you. It's really important that you wash it really well, and that if you can, soak it overnight in some vinegar and some red wine. I like to put the red wine because it gives it that extra flavour. So while I'm straining my cull fat, I'm going to make the mixture really, really simple. We've got a kilo of pork neck. I believe the secret to Chef Dahlia is having a lot of parsley and a lot of onion. When I'm talking a lot of parsley, I'm talking 5 bunches of parsley. You want it to be almost the same ratio as your pork. And when I said a lot of parsley, there's also a lot of onion. I've got 5 medium red onions, and I like the red onion because they're sweet, all finely chopped. Next, I'm putting in 3 crushed garlic. I use white pepper, a little bit of salt, a little bit of turmeric, and a little bit of cinnamon in there. And I find that that gives it a really, really nice pungent taste. Final ingredient, and you don't have to, but I like putting it in, is just a little bit of red wine, probably about half a cup. Now you got to get your hands dirty, guys. You got to dig in there, mince it all up, just like you're making rissoles, really, but with a lot more onion and parsley. You're going to find that it's quite moist, but that's okay, because when they're cooking, they're going to be so tender. Now, I've made enough here to probably feed half a grease, but the important thing to note is that once you've made these, you pop them in the freezer, just like sausages, and you pull them out whenever you want to have a barbie or a quick meal. Really important that you start separating your cull fat. You're not going to need too much of this, just enough to wrap them. That's what's going to keep it together and give you that really beautiful moist taste. This stuff is really, really easy to handle. It looks a little bit daunting, but it's not. It's so simple. I've just spread it out on my chopping board here, and I'm going to cut away a slice that I need. Okay, so I'm going to get about a tablespoon of my Chef Dahlia mix and put it right at the end, and then I'm going to start rolling it up. As you're rolling, tuck in the sides and keep rolling it over. You don't want too much cull fat on there, just enough to hold it together. And we've got our first Chef Dahlia. We're ready to cook these. You can either use a flat plate or you can use a griddle if you want, or putting them on the barbie. It's really important that your pan is not really, really hot. It's got to be medium, because these guys are going to take about 10 minutes to cook. And you've got to keep turning them. Just drizzle a little bit of olive oil. As you can see, these guys have got a lot of moisture in them, so you don't need to put anything on your griller. They're actually really good to cook on a barbie because all the fat drips through and they actually stay quite moist. They smell delicious. They're right off the hot plate. I've got a little bit of pita bread. I'm going to finish it off with a traditional garnish, which is a bit of parsley, a little bit more red onion, why not I say, and diced tomato.
Did you know the founder of the famous jewellery label Bulgari was Greek? Sotiris Voulgaris was the Greek creator of Bulgari, one of the world's most famous jewellery brands. Voulgaris was born in Epirus in 1857 and began his career as a jeweller in his home village of Paramithia. He was the only surviving child of a family of 11 and managed to continue the family tradition of jewellery making. He inherited the passion and talent in jewellery making from his grandfather Constantine, who was a street vendor in the villages of Epirus, and along with his father opened a jewellery store in the village. At the time, Paramithia and other villages in the region were facing problems from the Turks. Continuous burning of the village and serious damage to the shop forced the Voulgaris family to move to Corfu and then to Naples in Italy. The family opened their first gold jewellery store in Naples, however again encountered issues with crime and were forced to close. In 1881, Sotiris and his family moved to Rome, where they were successful in opening further stores. In 1884, Sotiris founded the Bulgari company, and along with his sons Costantino and Giorgio, opened his second store in Rome. In 1905, they opened the current flagship store that still remains today. The Voulgaris family continued to run the company through to the 1990s, with Sotiris' grandsons and nephews branching out to other designer goods and fashion items. In 2011, French luxury group Louis Vuitton bought Bulgari for over $6 billion US.
valetsalons.com.au. Enjoy the ultimate Hollywood hair and body experience right here in Kogarah with Valet. Mention Meraki TV for a $25 hair treatment free with any service. valetsalons.com.au.
Ζαλίζομαι από το πολύ ποτό. Τα χείλη σου μυρίζουν αλκοόλ. Μα δεν με νοιάζει, δεν με πειράζει. Αποστέλω να τα γι' αυτό. Τίκα τάκα τίκα τάκ. Άκου πως εκεί η καρδιά μου για σένα παλαμάκα σου χτυπά. Στο ρυθμό της χόρεψες για μένα.
The Many Faces of Hellenic Culture, a fascinating read by author Billy Kotsis, who takes us to the Greek colonies of the Mediterranean, Black Sea, Asia Minor and the Middle East. Available from Amazon and anywhere good Greek books are sold.
Irini Kallis is a good Greek girl and proud of it. However, she knows firsthand that there can be some detrimental behaviours that come along with that title. That's why she started her coaching business, Kefi Chicks, to help women, especially Greek women, who are struggling to find their mojo and get back into their kefi again. Please welcome Irini Kallis.
Irini Kallis, welcome to Meraki TV.
Thank you so much for having me here today.
Oh, you're very welcome. Tell me, what is Kefi Chicks?
Kefi Chicks is my business name, where I assist women find their kefi. And kefi, as we know, is a Greek word meaning joy, vitality, happiness, joy of life.
So if you're a good Greek girl who's just, feeling a bit flat and kind of losing your mojo, you sort of provide some counselling, some guidance.
I work as a life coach, and I find that getting your mojo back, as we say, or kefi, is really easy when you know what it is you need to do. So just some simple steps, simple strategies that can help you move forward once you've made the choice to do so. And that's the key. Once you've decided I'm over being stuck, I'm over feeling like this, I'm over feeling depressed, down, sad, whatever, then you can make the choice to be amazing.
What are the triggers, what are the signs that people can use to sort of say, it's time for me to get a bit of a boost?
Well, simple things such as I can't get out of bed, and you don't have to be in full state of depression to feel that way. It may be just for a few days at a time. It might be once in a while, that sort of thing. So you may feel, I just haven't got the energy. The house is a bit, you let it go a little bit more than you would normally do. Things like that. You can't be bothered cooking. They're the basic clues when you're in your home. You feel like you don't want to go to work. It's a chore to go and visit people.
And what does it involve? What kind of help, what kind of programs do you have so people sort of have an expectation of what's involved?
I'm launching at the moment a Kefi Diaries program, which is a monthly membership program for women who are looking for with a small budget to get a few tips about building up their capacity as a woman, and particularly as a Greek woman. Sometimes some of these things happen because we're in denial. We're denying our identity, and if we forget that we have traditions and culture and a heritage that are part of us, and we get onto struggle street with it, then we find that we can't make progress. What I find with women I work with is that we have a tendency to overgive, and that's definitely a Greek mama. I know. I know that my Greek heritage is very important to me, so that's why there's a Greek flavour with whatever I do.
And do you find that women appreciate someone who understands without having to explain, well, my mother's like this, and then there's these expectations for the family?
And they go, oh, thank goodness, you get me.
The τι θα πει ο κόσμος, I think not only woman, but even men would relate to that. How do people reprogram that? How do you reprogram that fear of what's going to be said about you?
It often is not about what the other person is going to say, it's about self-judgment. And when you are in a great space yourself and are feeling comfortable in your own skin, it doesn't matter what anybody says about you, because you know where you're supposed to be, you understand who you are, and then you're comfortable. So
great advice. Irini, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, darling. Thank you.
Bidya, so great to hang out again. We are, of course, brought to you by George Focus of Focus Beyond, education for investing wisely. A big thank you to our guests tonight, Zoe Galfayanis and Irini Callis. Stay in touch during the week by liking us on Facebook, following on Instagram and Twitter, and subscribing on YouTube to be alerted as soon as new web replays become available. Tonight I'm leaving you with the full version of Zoe Galfayanis' new song, Kamena Onira. Until next week, Bidya, Vilakya from me, Anna Savo.
Νύχτα και πάλι μόνη για σένα ναι μιλώ και σκέφτομαι συχνά το πόσο σ' αγάπω. Η ώρα δεν περνάει, ποτέ θα σε ξαναδώ. Θα περιμένω για πάντα να γυρίσεις πάλι εδώ. Δεν μπορώ. Τα μάτια σου όταν σκέφτομαι θολώνει το μυαλό. Η ώρα είναι χρόνος, δεν μπορώ, θα τρελαθώ. Η μέρα θα έρθει πάλι να σ' αγγίζω μόνο εγώ.
Meraki TV is proudly brought to you by George Focus of Focus Beyond, education for investing wisely.